Let me make this introduction somewhat personal. When Ran invited me to introduce the Vice President, I already had a commitment to go to some other occasion. But I felt the opportunity to show some solidarity between the different political groupings in this country on this occasion was especially important. Of course, I confess I expected the outcome, the opposite of what happened. And so I had intended to pay tribute to the Vice President for an ongoing administration. I met the Vice President over 40 years ago, when he had just been elected to the Senate. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even eligible to be a senator yet, because he had not yet reached the age of 30. But he reached that age by the time he was sworn in. At that time, I was Secretary of State. He was a junior senator who had just come in, and there was a bitter debate about Vietnam. And I cannot say that the Vice President exactly reflected my views at that moment. But what did happen from the earliest moment on was my sense that I was dealing with a senator and a human being of enormous compassion, of great commitment to the security and the freedom of the world, and a deep commitment to an open and full dialogue. I solidified my relationship with the senator when we had an executive meeting of the Foreign Relations Committee, to which he came in late. And I didn't recognize him. And the Vice President represented important and deep values that were of crucial importance to this country and the world. And now that the result of the election has been different from what I foresaw when I accepted this invitation, I think it is equally important to pay tribute to the Vice President for his service to our country and to the world. and to express the hope that the attitudes of goodwill and frank discussion and uniting behind key issues will characterize the evolution that is ahead of us. And I feel deeply that the Vice President will continue to make a profound contribution to this. For a group as this, I cannot let the evening go by without paying a recognition to the Kristallnacht. My family was affected, as every Jewish family. We were fortunate in my branch of the family of having left Germany 2 months, just 2 months before. But my grandparents were thrown out of the house where they lived in the countryside. And about 15 members of our family were directly affected. So, of course, I have always, by my experience, to hope for a world in which the principles of justice are so well developed and the commitment to freedom is so strongly maintained. And that brings me back to the Vice President. He is a friend of the Jewish people, not alone because of his personal relationship with so many of them, but above all, because he stands for the principles which will assure and with the survival and the development of the Jewish people and of the state of Israel, together with the other states in the region. So let me thank Ron Lauder to give me this opportunity to introduce a friend of 40 years, a distinguished American, the Vice President of the United States.